Hi, welcome back to Keto Love. So today is week 2 for my journey reporting to y'all, and I had a great week. It definitely was one of those weeks where I took a lot more things into account because I was going to report back to someone. So keeping myself accountable so far, week 1, everything was good. All right, so let's see. There was not a whole lot of out of the house activity this week, so that made it easy to, not have to worry about on the go foods and that type of thing. I was able to make a couple recipe videos, and I'm still editing some, but I did get one up earlier today if you want to go back and watch that. I have a few more that I'm working on that will come up soon. So how'd your week go? Were you able to find some new ways to incorporate some healthy things into your life, or do some research or anything like that? I'm interested to know. Just put that in the comments, please, and let me know how your week went. So last week I weighed in at 271.2, and this week I weighed in at 267.8. So close to a 4-pound loss. I'm happy with that. I will take that every week. That'll be fine with me. But I was able to track my macros on Carb Manager, which I showed y'all that last week. I may put a little bit more about that on this video also, so that you can see how I do what I do with keeping up with my macros for the day, because that's probably the most important part, just to make sure that you are hitting your macronutrients to keep yourself in the right level of proteins for the day, carbohydrates, not going over on your fats, those types of things. It adds up really quick, so you want to be able to track all that. Even the littlest amount of things add up quick. So as you can tell, I'm sitting in my car, which I don't want to make most of my videos in the car, but with the way that my life is, this will probably be one of the quietest places and the only place that I have that's a free moment. So I'm just sitting outside, waiting for one of my kids' activities to be done. And I've got one kid in the back, so you might hear a couple little noises out of him. But just want to keep myself accountable, do my weekly check-in. So here I am with whatever happens. So typically for people, week 2 can be a little bit difficult. If you just started when the new year started, first week, kind of exciting, you kind of plan it out well, and when week 2 can start, kind of the new wears off and it starts to be more of a test of your willpower to stay on track. You may even start to feel a little bit drained, or like you're lacking some energy. So what you want to do there is you want to make sure that you're getting your electrolytes by making sure you're having like Himalayan pink Himalayan salt during your meals. You can add a little tiny pinch of it to your water, just enough you won't even taste the flavor of it, but the trace minerals will be there to help kind of make everything back right. You'd be amazed at how much of a difference just a little bit of salt makes in getting your electrolytes back on track. Of course, also there are over-the-counter electrolytes that you can get. Just make sure they're keto friendly, and that'll just kind of pep you right back up. You can do apple cider vinegar tonic, which I will share a link to that recipe here. That'll help pep you right back up too if you're feeling a little bit drained, or like you just don't quite have stamina. And then and that's also, you don't have to worry about it if it's breaking a fast or anything like that. When you're picking out what you're going to eat for the week, I really do advise you to kind of plan ahead at least a few days at a time, and do your grocery shopping for those days ahead of time. It's a whole lot easier to stay on track when you already know what you are planning to eat, and it's easily on hand for you, so you don't have to go do the extra effort while you're hungry to go find what's a keto friendly food for you. So for me, I typically do most of my planning on either Friday night or on Saturday morning. I like to do it on Friday night though, so that I can pick my groceries up on Saturday morning. I sit down and kind of look at the week that we've had and what foods I've made for my family for dinners. We stay very similar on breakfast throughout the week. As far as what the kids have for lunch, that also stays pretty similar throughout the week. That doesn't really change a whole lot, unless they have a special request, of course, mom life. But as far as dinners, I guess I have probably 6 or 7 things that we rotate throughout a 2-week cycle, and then we fill in with other new things that we haven't had in a while, or that are a new recipe find, and that type of thing. So, and I also look at what our schedule is as far as what we have to do. Like I said, my kids do have a little bit of activities that they are able to do during COVID after school hours, so I'm trying my best to think of what works best during the weeknights that we're a little bit more busy, so that I can make the meals that take a little bit more time on the days when we don't have anywhere to go. All right, so keep it really simple though. So for the first probably month or two, I really truly just stuck to a nice big portion of a nice clean meat, and then a very simple veggie like green beans, or a side salad that's made like with spinach and spring mix, or asparagus. I love asparagus, so a lot of roasted asparagus, roasted Brussels sprouts, roasted broccoli, or steamed, any style that you like, but you pretty much just keep it a meat and a green, and that way you can get through it without having to put a whole lot of thought into it. You know that those types of things fit into your macros, and they help provide you with the nutrients that you need, especially whenever you cook your vegetables with a little bit of avocado oil as your fat, or if you prefer butter on them, something like that. Just adds in the good fats that you want, and you're able to measure the fat that you're having, so that keep your meat nice and lean, then add your fats in. And if you're having something like a steak, add a butter sauce on it if you'd like. Something that just kind of helps that savory side quench your cravings there. Now, you don't have to be a very organized person to do keto. I just personally, that's kind of where my giftedness is in administration and keeping up with things that are information. So that's just my quirkiness of how I like to keep things organized. But you do you. Whatever is the way that you like to keep up with things. Whatever works for you, just as long as you're making progress with finding a way to make a change in unhealthy behavior to a healthy behavior, it's up to you. So for me, I try to avoid artificial sweeteners. I have a hard time with them. They make me crave just eating in general. So for example, if I have something around lunchtime with artificial sweetener in it, and it can be keto approved sweeteners that are perfectly fine to have, but if I have them for the rest of the day, I just find myself thinking I'm hungry and wanting to eat. So I personally have to be careful with sweeteners, any type. But whenever I do have them, I try to wait till later in the day, like maybe with dinner, to have something that has an artificial sweetener in it. Just because so far, if I have something later in the day, my eating window closes, after 8 o'clock, and I don't have anything else to eat after that time frame. So by the next morning when I've woke up, all that's kind of cleared out of my system, and I got a fresh palate to start over from. So that works out good for me. So just be careful with that if you're someone who tends to see that you're having a similar reaction to sugars, where eating them makes you just want more to eat in general, or maybe it just makes you crave more sweet stuff. Like I said, even though it's a friendly sugar, I have to try to avoid those. Keep a favorites list. So as you are discovering which types of things are simple for you to make, or easy, or you just really enjoy them, make a list of your favorite things. That way, whenever you kind of draw a blank on maybe what to plan for, what meals or snacks that you want to put into your weekly schedule or your weekly meal plan, you can just go back to your list of favorites, be like, oh yeah, that can fit right here. That'd be the perfect thing for this day or whatever. That's just a kind of a quick tip there to make your life a little bit easier. Now me, I'm personally kind of like a organized freak when it comes to anything list related. I do my shopping digitally. I go online and I make my shopping list. I order my groceries for the week there, and I just pull up to the store and have the I'm not sure what they're called, the checkout people, the attendant, the pickup people. I have them put it in the back of my car, and I just go on about my day. So as far as the list of the favorites and stuff like that, so this is probably going to be one of the things that reveals quite a bit about my personality. I have a spreadsheet on my phone that I keep a list of my meals that are quick and easy, and things that I really like, and things that are, I have like 3 different categories. So things that I love, things that are really quick, and then things that are budget friendly, just so I can kind of fill in the blanks whenever I need to, where I need to. I can just grab one of those things out of one of those categories and stick it in. So yes, spreadsheets are that's my jam. And keep yourself busy. For me, this week has been pretty decent. This past week we were able to do a little bit more on our project downstairs in our washroom area. We have been laying laminate flooring, my husband and I, so we got a little bit more progress made on that this past weekend. And between that and just trying to clean up from after Christmas, I had plenty of things to kind of keep me busy and keep my mind off of the in-between meal times, so that I wouldn't get bored and snack. So think of some little simple things that you could do around the house. It doesn't have to cost you any money at all. You could just be simply reorganizing a closet or a drawer, or just some of your supplies around the house that you need. Definitely it's a great time to go through your pantry, get that organized, and get out things that may be tempting for you to snack on when you shouldn't be. Those types of things. Free and beneficial for all. Coffee is your friend. So for me, I've always liked coffee, but whenever I am staying strict keto, it's a whole lot easier for me to turn to coffee as kind of like a bridge between cravings, between meals, those types of things. So I enjoy
coffee is your friend.
I enjoy having coffee in the morning, and I also enjoy having a coffee in the afternoon, and I make that a what I call a keto coffee, a collagen coffee. I take a pure unflavored a pure unflavored collagen, and I add it in with my coffee, so that I can get in a little bit more of the protein, and of course the collagen itself just helps with joints and hair and skin and those types of things. And I'm really trying my best to keep my skin nice as I'm losing the weight, so that everything kind of has a better chance of going back in place after losing a lot of weight. That can be a challenge for some people, so I'm trying to avoid that as much as possible. Tonight for dinner we're having spaghetti meatballs. I'm just using some 97 3 lean ground beef. We got about 2 pounds here, a tablespoon of garlic powder, and a teaspoon each of ground parsley and ground oregano. And this is a half cup of shredded Parmesan, and 2 eggs. I do my best to try to keep my ingredients as clean as possible, so I like the cage-free eggs. Then take a little salt and pepper, blend this, mix this all up, just with your hands is fine. Round it out into balls. This ended up making 27 balls for us tonight. And then spaghetti squash. These are always so much fun to try to cut into. For some reason, this one seemed to be particularly hard. and I worked on it for a minute. And thank you for the wonderful editing program that lets me be able to show you all this without all the struggles in between. So here it is opened up, and we can just take a scoop or a spoon and scoop out the seeds and just clean them out and get them ready for roasting. We're just going to stick this in the oven at 375 for 20 minutes, or actually about 30 minutes. I rub a little bit of avocado oil all over the outside surface of the eating part, and then just ground a little fresh ground pepper on here, and some salt just to help bring out all the flavor, so that while it's roasting, it can get a little bit of flavor in there. Now for me, I use Rayo's. This is only 6 grams of carbohydrates per half cup serving. So this is a really nice keto-friendly tomato-based sauce. I'm just going to warm it up. So here it is. We have spaghetti and meatballs. This is about a half cup of spaghetti squash and 5 meatballs, a half cup of sauce, and just a sprinkle of the Parmesan cheese. So I hope that y'all have a good week, and if you have any suggestions on some recipes you'd like to see me make, or if you have any questions or comments, please leave them for me and I would be glad to talk to you. Follow us on all the socials. I'll have all that listed here for you, and we will see you next time.